All right, so today's our 2020 Internet Marketing Plan webinar for our plumbing and HVAC prospects and clients. I'm a big believer that one webinar per month can really drive your entire lead generation and content delivery strategy. And so, as I set this up today, I'll kind of walk you guys through, how we're setting the webinar up, how we've promoted it, kind of what the numbers are. Here's the workbook we put together for it. Your 2020 Internet Marketing Plan for plumbing and HVAC contractors. This is mission critical. I want to make sure, you guys are all running webinars on a monthly basis, and the best place to start is here in January, right? If you start in January with the 2020 plan, then every webinar you do sequentially after that makes sense, because you can say, hey, in January we did the one on the 2020 plan. Now we're going to talk about how to set your website up, or we're going to talk about how to leverage social media. We're going to talk about these various topics. So you do one in January, and then you do one every single month from then on out. And what it does is it gives you a reason to email the database, to create the new content, and to fully syndicate it in a way that really gets your prospects' attention. So super pumped. I'll keep you posted on how this plays out today. And I'd really love to see all of you guys run this similar webinar here in January before it's too late. You can only talk about the 2020 plan really for the first 2 to 3 weeks of the year. After that, it's kind of old hat. It's time to move on. So there's a unique opportunity right now to create cutting edge content that positions you as the go-to expert in your niche. And I want you guys to take advantage of it. All right, let's jump on the computer real quick. I'll kind of walk you through the stats. All right, so here's the registration page. This is where we're sending traffic via email, social posts, and things like that. All right, 2020 Internet Marketing Plan. Click here to register. Once they register, we're finding, we take them to this page right here where they can, hey, thanks so much for registering. If you're like most plumbing HVAC companies, you probably want these ideas, but more importantly, you want somebody that can do this for you. And if that's you, fill out the form here on the side and let's schedule a time to chat. So here are the numbers so far. As of this morning, and we're going to get some more throughout the course of the day. We get a lot of people the day of the webinar. The webinar is actually powered on Zoom. So right now, we've got, what's the number? 83 registered for the webinar. You kind of see it down here, which is good. I think we're going to probably wind up with 100 or so registered. We'll probably wind up with 50 or so live because we've got a great follow-up campaign once people register for this. And what's really interesting, and I keep talking about this, but what's really interesting here is if we look at our scheduled strategy sessions, we actually have 7 scheduled strategy sessions before the webinar already even happened. So out of the 80 or so that's scheduled, almost 10% said, hey, yeah, I do want to do that. They filled out this questionnaire and they actually got to the place where they schedule an appointment. We had probably 15 or so people fill out the application. A lot of them weren't qualified, so we kind of screened them out. So this is the 2-step process that we're going to be doing today. Promoting the webinar, getting people to the registration page to pre-schedule appointments. We're going to show up live. We're going to create great content on this 2020 Internet Marketing Plan webinar, add value to our database, and create content that we can fully syndicate. So I'll shoot another one as the webinar is getting closer to going live, and I'll kind of walk you through what we're going to do with the video file, the audio file, the presentation slides to really make the most use out of the time, out of the content that we're creating. All right, we're going to start the webinar here in just about 30 minutes. I wanted to show latest numbers. 103 registered for the webinar so far. So good. We were able to get an extra 23 or so the day of. I have been posting the link to the workbook and things like that. So about to dive in. I'll let you know how it goes, how many we have on live, and give you a debrief on how we're going to be syndicating this to really get maximum effect from it. So that's it for now. Check in a sec. All right, so we just wrapped up the webinar. My voice is a little bit hoarse. We went for about an hour and a half. So check this out. We actually wound up with all of the emails and promotion with 138 people registered for the webinar. We wound up with 60 or so on live. So we created some great momentum. We got some great appointments scheduled right out of the gates. I know there's been another 5 or 6 through the promotions of the day. And we're going to have this great content that we can syndicate out across the web. I've got some great training on exactly how I take the webinar, export it, turn it into a YouTube video, turn it into a podcast, load up the SlideShare slides to really syndicate this and create like 13 or 14 pieces of content from the one webinar. That's why we do these webinars every month, because we create momentum. We have a reason to touch the database. It forces us to create this content, and then we can syndicate it and create a lot of value-added content with this one activity. So that's it. I'm toast. A lot of great interaction on the webinar today. I want you guys all to run this webinar this month, so don't sit on it. If you need help finding the resource where you've got the swipes and deploys, where you've got the how-tos on how to run these types of webinars, post in comments, webinar training, and I'll get you pointed in the right direction. Let's make 2020 awesome. Let's leverage this stuff. Let's get this 2020 plan webinar out, and I'll talk to you soon.